Him over to my friend and a strong advocate for public safety throughout the city, a member of our Public Safety and Livable Neighborhoods Committee, Councilmember Raul Campillo. Councilmember.
Thank you, Mayor, for those strong words, and good afternoon, everyone. My name is Raul Campillo, and I represent District 7. District 7 spans from the 5 freeway west of Linda Vista to the 125 freeway east of San Carlos. We have countless canyons and open spaces that are fire hazards, and we have an enormous flood zone through Mission Valley, and because of those canyons and the rivers, there's an inherent infrastructure disconnect of multiple communities. So when there are emergencies in my district, by nature of the geography and infrastructure, it oftentimes takes the longest distance and time for first responders to arrive. And the firefighters and officers and lifeguards who protect my constituents often get pulled to other areas as well. So when I hear people talk about slow response times, I know it could be the difference between life and death of my neighbors. And that's why I care about this issue so much. My constituents are vulnerable, and Mayor Gloria has been a great partner to address public safety issues. I also want to thank 3 other great partners in that: Police Chief David Nislight, Fire Chief Colin Stowell, Lifeguard Chief James Gartland for their hard work to support my constituents. I've had the opportunity to do ride-alongs with many of these first responders, including 4 nighttime ride-alongs with the Eastern Division of the San Diego Police Department, 2 24-hour shifts with San Diego firefighters, and a full day with the San Diego lifeguards. And here's what I've learned. These men and women who don't bat an eye at the dangers they face put their lives on the line and do more and more with less and less. And our failure to hire and retain police and firefighters and lifeguards means that those who remain at the city as employees are often asked to triage which lives are saved first. My constituents are angry about that, and I am angry about that. Let me first focus on police. We can't hide the fact, and we must not close our eyes to the fact that crime has risen from 2019 to 2022. And our duty as elected officials is to prioritize the safety of our residents of San Diego. It's the fundamental responsibility of government. Now, crime isn't at the same high of metrics as they were in 2012 and 2013, but very sadly, we see an increasing in the most egregious types of crimes: murders, and sexual and aggravated assaults, and gun violence. These are crimes that require more work to investigate and solve and bring perpetrators to justice, and this strains our overall system and reduces our ability to address problems quickly. Again, our police officers are doing more with less. And this isn't fair to the community or the city employees who are responding to it. And ultimately, it stirs fear in our community. And this fear is something that I find to be absolutely unacceptable. It makes me think of the woman and her elderly father who were held hostage in a community that I served, Tierra Santa, and how they were the 3rd or 4th home that we know about that the assailant tried to break into that night. I want to thank the Eastern Division officers and other police officers who brought that person to justice that night. The shots were fired, but no one was shot, and luckily the hostages in the house were taken out of there safely as well. It's a serious issue, and I know that that particular instance is going to haunt that family and those neighbors on that street and that community for years to come. It's something that I'm so happy that San Diego Police Department addressed so quickly that night, as fast as they possibly could, and I know they'll tell you they wish they could respond to it even more quickly. Now let me turn to our firefighters and our lifeguards. I've done multiple 24-hour shifts with our firefighters who are often heading into life-threatening situations on minimal sleep, having worked 24, 48, 72, and even sometimes 96 hours straight because understaffing leads to mandatory shifts. And I've seen lifeguards who are constantly injured. They have broken toes, broken fingers, busted knees, scraped legs, even broken backs sometimes after they save lives, diving into the rocks to save swimmers from emergencies. And are they complaining about it? No. They show up every single day and say, I'm gonna keep doing it because people depend on me. Police, fire, and lifeguards are doing more with less. Well, we're done with doing more and expecting less and less, expecting more of our workers for less. Now, I don't expect the public to read every single detail of the budget, but I want people at home watching to know this. In this proposed budget, Mayor Gloria and the council aren't asking our first responders to do more with less. We are working as elected officials to live up to what you expect out of us. At the council's urging, and the city employees union urging, and from his own experience being a council member and assembly member, Mayor Gloria isn't taking small steps, he's taking enormous steps forward to stop the fear in our city and ensure our collective safety. Last year's budget set the stage as we waited for revenues to return to normal levels after COVID, and with a significant rebounding in revenues this year, there is significant improvement with renewed emphasis on supporting police and firefighters and lifeguards. The budget has far more in terms of resources and improved staffing, including middle management, which is super necessary to make sure that our youngest city employees get trained and can rise up in the ranks. The budget has those promises. And as the current labor negotiations with police and fire and lifeguards are ongoing, I fully expect that we're going to continue to see competitive and rising wages for our first responders because they deserve it. I truly believe we're going to see excellent applicants apply because of this, and current employees staying because they see the seriousness with which our mayor and our city council, our elected leaders, are taking this issue on with. Mayor Gloria takes this seriously, I take this seriously, and I look forward to working with him to make San Diego safer for all, because that's what people deserve. They don't deserve to be afraid. They deserve a strong budget, and that's what we're going to give them.